Hey, what's up, everybody? I'm gonna do a classic rock reaction. This is Led Zeppelin, man. Led Zeppelin, Houses of the Holy album. I'm gonna be doing the final track on that album, The Ocean. And this is what we'll do, man. We're gonna do a back-to-back. I'm gonna do a reaction to the live, sorry, not the live, the studio version first, and then a live version thereafter. Got to make sure I get that order correct, man. I had some people get very upset when I did a live reaction to the song Remains the Same first, and then the studio reaction thereafter. Actually, even have a patron sent me dislikes and unsubscribed and everything, so I can't screw up the order, man. It's very important. Anyway, man, so first and foremost, I want to give a shout out and a thanks very much to Tom Gallup. Tom, thank you very much for the recommendations, the links, and I appreciate you telling me the best way to do the reaction. I know by now definitely it's the studio first and then the live reaction thereafter, but thanks for the instructions all the same, man. So what I'm going to do too, man, is I'm going to break up my reading in between the reactions so it isn't just a whole bunch of it all in one space. So in between the songs, I'll break up my reading as well, man. So a lot of you have been saying this is your favorite Led Zeppelin song for various reasons, so I'm looking forward to it, man. The way you guys talk, you get me all hyped on this stuff. Alright, The Ocean, Led Zeppelin. Let's get it. Somebody was counting down, almost in like a rapping style. Great jam, man. Take those overlapping guitars. Got great timing, don't they? Nice break. That was loud as hell. She's only 3 years old. he's singing about his kid, his daughter. It's a nice feel-good song, good tempo. I really dig how it just shifted directions like that. Nice. Bringing it on home. Hey. Damn, man. So that's the ocean. That was excellent. That was excellent in a very, very different way. Let me explain what I mean. I was expecting something heavy, hard, and thunderous. You know, thunder, pounding thunder. That's what I kind of in my mind set myself up for. But this has a lot of charm, essence, sweetness to it. It's got their great musicianship, great vocals, tells a really, really cool story, great lyrically. Everything about it is excellent. And I'm not disappointed, that's for sure. This was really, really nice. It's a nice, sweet song. It's charming. It's still got the Led Zeppelin signature. It's still powerful. It's still got thunder in it, but it's sweetly, elegantly spiced with so much more variety. And again, man, variety. This album really is my awakening to their range, the variety of their creativity. This album will challenge your imagination. It will showcase their great musicianship. It will showcase every single one of them as an individual unit and as a collective force. These range of songs going from the crunge, the song remains the same. This song, The Ocean, Jamaica, man, you talk about diversity. Of course, I can't forget No Quarter. I'm not sleeping on No Quarter. You talk about this album. It is its own entity. It's got its own identity, and it really, really, for me, showcases their range of creativity. You may like their music, some of their music on this album, you may not. One thing you can't deny them is their diverse creativity. How many artists wish that they had that? You know what I'm saying? So that is what this album, I'm going to remember about this album, really breaking me into the depths of Led Zeppelin and the creative force, the diverse creative force that they are. New appreciation for them with this album. Overall, I would rate this album, if I was rating all the other albums, let me see, 1, 2, 3, 4, I would rate all of the albums, let's say, out of 5, and this album, it would be out of 5 as well. And I would have different reasons for why I'm rating them high like that. I'm rating this album as a 5 because of all of the reasons that I've just given you. To me, so far, it's their most creative venture. And that is what I'm going to remember about this album. It's kind of like opening my eyes even wider. Just the range and the diversity and the variety that's being offered here. Wow, that was excellent. The Ocean. I can understand why so many of you really like it. It's definitely a charming, feel-good song. Love the little doo-wops in the outro there as they're bringing it on home. The way they shift and everything. Fantastic song, man. He's singing about some really, really cool things. The girl that stole his heart is his daughter, no doubt. And I think what he's singing about overall is that the ocean, I think, is like maybe the multitude of people in his life, or the fan base, or the influences in the music industry. And he's got a date, he can't be late, so he's got promises to keep, he's got responsibilities, but he embraces it, he welcomes it. It's not a burden, it's a pleasure, so this song has some great themes and topics and the main ideas. And that's another thing too about Led Zeppelin, man. You may ask yourself, why are these guys so damn good? And most of the time you would probably stop at their musicianship, and that's all you need for a lot of people. But going beyond that, what really makes them great to me, going really deep in this rabbit hole now, is the diverse creativity that they have. And shout out to their the guy from Atlantic Records that gave them all of this creative freedom, Mr. Ertegon, I believe it is. He saw something in these guys, and he invested in not just their mainstay formula that they used before that worked for them, but he also invested and took a leap of faith and a gamble in their creative diversity going forward. He had a feeling, he probably followed up on the feeling, giving them this creative freedom, knowing that they would create different things, but it would all be great. So props to the Mr. Erdogan. I know that you've passed, sir. Props to you for giving these guys that creative freedom that they needed. Otherwise, we wouldn't have experienced an album like this, that's for sure. So I'm doing a hellacious amount of damn talking. So let me do a super quick read here on the band, and then a quick read on the ocean, and then we'll bounce to our next track. Actually, what we'll do, quick intro of the band, quick read on the ocean, and then we'll bounce to the next track. That's the best way to go, man. So, Led Zeppelin. Led Zeppelin were an English rock band formed in London in 1968. The group consisted of guitarist Jimmy Page, singer Robert Plant, bassist and keyboardist John Paul Jones, and drummer John Bonham. The band's heavy guitar-driven sound has led them to be cited as one of the progenitors of heavy metal. Their style drew from a wide variety of influences, including blues, psychedelia, and folk music. After changing their name from the New Yardbirds, Led Zeppelin signed a deal with Atlantic Records that afforded them considerable artistic freedom. Although the group were initially unpopular with critics, they achieved significant commercial success. They were inducted into the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame in 1995. The museum's biography of the band states that they were as influential during the 1970s as the Beatles were during the 1960s. Fantastic accomplishment. The Ocean. The Ocean is a song by English rock band Led Zeppelin from their 1973 album Houses of the Holy. The ocean is a metaphor for the sea of heads faced by lead singer Robert Plant in the auditoriums, according to the group's biographer Dave Lewis. The ocean being the fans as seen from the stage. It was always dedicated to the audience at concerts. The voice on the intro is drummer John Bonham. when he says, quote, "We've done 4 already, but now we're steady," and then they went 1, 2, 3, 4. He is referring to the takes. They had tried to record it 4 times prior, but couldn't get it right. So, as a pep talk, he said his famous line. Okay, so that was John Bonham, kind of like in a countdown rapping style. In the last line, "The girl who won my heart," is Robert Plant's daughter Carmen, who was 3 years old at the time. Yeah, his daughter. This is one of the few Zeppelin songs where all 4 members shared the writing credit. Robert Plant used parts of this for his solo song, Tall Cool One. Yeah, I gotta do a solo Robert Plant reaction, man. I don't. Give me some. Give me a quad for a Robert Plant solo from his earlier days to whenever, covering a range. The Beastie Boys sampled this on She's Crafty. It wasn't their first use of Zeppelin. They took some of Bonham's drums from When the Levee Breaks for Rhythm and Stealing. Yeah, I got that on my playlist. It can barely be heard due to all the guitar overdubs, but during the last minute or so, John Paul Jones and John Bonham sing for one of the only times on a Zeppelin album. They are harmonizing the phrase doo-wop. Okay. Yeah, I caught that. If you listen carefully, you can hear a phone ringing in the studio at 1.37 to 1.38, and again the second ring around 1.41. The lyrics about the Hellbound refer to blues musician Robert Johnson, who, according to legend, sold his soul to the devil. On the lyric sheet that came with the album, the word Hellbound was replaced with High Hopes Haila, Hailla. Reception. In a review for the reissue of Houses of the Holy, Christopher Lenz of Consequence of Sound gave The Ocean a positive review, calling the song clattering and demonstrative. Underappreciated gem. Lenz continues, Page and company get back to their swaggering rock roots with one of the nastiest guitar riffs, drum-filled combos in rock history, and the song and album end with a riotous crescendo as Plant screams out, "Oh so good," and he is oh so right, unquote. Good review. Oh. However, not all the reception for the song was as positive. Here it comes, man. In a contemporary review for Houses of the Holy, Gordon Fletcher of Rolling Stone gave The Ocean a negative review, calling the track, quote, so diluted and filled with pointless humor. Fletcher further wrote, Jimmy Page's guitar spits jagged fireballs, with John Paul Jones and John Bonham riffing along behind him, but the effect is destroyed by ridiculous backup cooings and an overbearing killer coda that's so blatant it can only be taken as a mock of straight rock and roll. Unquote. Yo, man. I shouldn't be surprised by now. But you know what? Hey. Everybody is entitled to their own opinion, right? You don't have to like every single thing that Led Zeppelin does. In my opinion, it's a great song. I think it's fantastic. I think it showcases talent, diversity, great creativity, has some good feels, has a great message, tells an excellent story, great lyrics, great everything, great timing. But hey, doesn't mean that somebody else has to like it. This dude is entitled to his own opinion. I'm gonna leave it there. I'm gonna leave it there. All right, man. Damn. How in the hell could you not like this song? What the hell is wrong? Okay. Let's go to our next track, man. That being a live rendition, Madison Square Gardens of The Ocean. Rolling Stone. Led Zeppelin, The Ocean. Let's get it. It's cool, the crowd is counting down with him.
Singing in the sunshine, laughing in the rain, rocking in the moonshine, rolling in the grain. Got no time to pack my bag, my foot's outside the door. I gotta tell you, I can't be late for the hell-high weather storm.
Nice. He adjusts the age of his daughter. Nice. Excellent.
Singing to the ocean, I can hear the ocean's roar. Play for me, I play for free. I play a whole lot more. Think about the good thing and the sun that lights the day. I used to think of the ocean as the ocean lost its way. I don't think so.
Excellent. Hey man, that was very, very good considering that they didn't have all the great polishing effects from the studio. Fantastic. All right. So that was their live rendition, Madison Square Gardens. Nice. Very nice. lots of fun. You can tell that it's one of those tunes that they like jamming to. That was excellent. That was really good, man. I like both of them. I would say equally. I definitely like that nice raw atmospheric appeal of the live rendition. But of course, I like the perfection of the studio as well. I like them both. I like them both. It varies with the different songs from this album. I like the live rendition of No Quarter a touch more than the studio version. Same thing for The Song Remains the Same. Like that raw atmospheric feel of the live version, just slightly more so than the polished rendition of the studio version. So it's back and forth with the various tunes on this album. But yeah, I like both renditions equally. Fantastic. So man, do I have any more reading to do? No, I think that'll be it, man. Yeah, I just want to say, again, what keeps coming back to me from this song and all of the songs on this album is showcasing their great creativity, man. Fantastic. The range, the versatility. I mean, this song has a bit of everything in it. It's fun, it's got a little bit of lightness, it's got some thunder in it, it's got great creativity, it tells you a great story, great lyrics. Overall, all of the tracks on this album have those elements. And again, overall, what this album represents to me is showcasing their great creative diversity. How many artists wish that they had this? They're not just one or two dimensional, and you can't just group them in a box. You know, they can go from that whisper to the thunder and all of that stuff in the middle. And again, props to those visionary people who saw Led Zeppelin for what they had. I'm talking about Ahmet Ertegun of Atlantic Records, giving them that creative freedom, that ability to create and express themselves. Great leap of faith on his part, man. Taking a chance, you know. I don't know if he ever said, hey, stick to the winning formula of your blues from the first and the second album, or stick to the winning formula for Led Zeppelin 3 and 4. Don't know what he said, but he gave them creative freedom. So that means that he had enough faith. He took a leap of faith, but at the same time, he gave them the power to be creative. And I'm sure that he's very, very happy for that decision. So are we, because we're experiencing something like this. If you were to say, hey man, what is it that makes Led Zeppelin so damn great? It's this. It's beyond their great musicianship. It's their ability to create and be expressive. I mean, how many artists, if you think about it, in rock and roll can take you through a range of different points of view if you think of the theme of their music, and if you think of the emotions that they conjure up in you. You know, how many bands can make you laugh, sing along, cry, applaud, wonder, long for hope, long for joy and love. All of these different things Led Zeppelin provides, you know. And here I am, I'm only halfway through their catalog, and I already get the essence of what makes them great. If you're a damn critic, how come you don't have that shit figured out, right? How come you are bashing their creative element? Stop right there. I feel a rant coming. I'm not going to do that. I'm not going to fall into that trap of letting certain critics get under my skin. I'm not going to do that. Let's take the high road. So man, all I can say about this album overall is that on certain levels it's my favorite album so far with Led Zeppelin, because again, always going back to that creative diversity. That is what makes Led Zeppelin great. If you're sitting around talking to your friends and you're pondering Led Zeppelin and you're comparing the music of yesteryear to today, and you fall on Led Zeppelin, which I'm sure many of you do, a lot of your friends are going to fall on just their great musicianship. But take it a step further and say, hey, it's their creative diversity. That's what made them so great. That is what we're going to be talking about 500 years from now when we talk about Led Zeppelin. And that is what I already know, only halfway through their damn catalog. So, going forward from here, I gotta tell you guys something. Man, I gotta tell you guys something. I have an annoying coworker, man. And I go into work and I'm, yo, good morning, good morning. And then he's like, good morning, tadpole. Pretty soon you're gonna be a shellback, but until then you're still a damn tadpole. Well, what he's saying to me is, I haven't yet gotten deep enough into the Led Zeppelin rabbit hole to experience physical graffiti. I'm not there yet. Physical graffiti to him is the bar, it's the measuring stick of awarding me the title of an actual true Led Zeppelin fan. If I haven't experienced physical graffiti, I'm, in his eyes, not a Led Zeppelin fan yet. So he calls me a tadpole. Once I experience physical graffiti, I'll now be an honorary shellback. I would have graduated. This is Navy talk. So he likes to have fun with me because of my ignorance with Led Zeppelin still. So he said, whereabouts are you now? I said, well, I'm happy to say that I am just a couple of days away from completing Houses of the Holy. And he goes, fantastic, that's great. So you're going to be hitting the song Houses of the Holy. I said, well, I believe it to be the ocean. He goes, yeah, the ocean is on it. But make sure, that you get the title track, Houses of the Holy. You can't do the Houses of the Holy album without doing the Houses of the Holy song. And I stopped and he saw my wheels turning. And he's like, oh my God, man, don't tell me that you're going to complete Houses of the Holy without doing the song Houses of the Holy. What the hell is wrong with you? He had me, right? That has taken advantage of my ignorance. And so I pardoned myself and I went around the corner, checked my phone. And I realized that the song Houses of the Holy is not on the album Houses of the Holy. But by then it was too late. He busted me. He's like, you're around the corner checking your phone, aren't you? So this guy normally, he's got like a resting bitch face, and he doesn't say much, doesn't speak much, but he really lights up when I get to talking and sharing about, my reaction channel and especially Led Zeppelin, because he is, of course, the foremost authority. So anyway, man, even though it was at my expense, I'm glad that I did bring a little bit of joy to his life, because normally there's a little bit of a dark cloud above him. That embarrassed the hell out of me though, because it was just a whole bunch of co-workers having a laugh at my expense, but that's okay. So now I know that Houses of the Holy is on physical graffiti. It's not on the Houses of the Holy album. It's just one of those things that I learned a touch too late. And someone had the jump on me, but that's okay. I just thought I'd share that with you. I could laugh about it a few days later. At the time, it wasn't that funny. I felt stupid. Okay, man. So, moving forward, man. Speaking of physical graffiti, where are we? We are around the 20... By the time you see this, it'll maybe be the 25th, 26th. So, I'll probably get started on physical graffiti in the next... couple of days, man, 2 or 3 days from now, and go from there. I know it's a double album and I know it's gonna take me a long ass time to get through, but that's okay, man. Steady as she goes. I'm in no hurry. I've been enjoying this Led Zeppelin journey. Thanks a lot for all of your support and your advice and stuff like that. And you're my sounding board. When I have these issues and frustrations and stuff like that, I can share it with you. You can understand where I'm coming from. And thanks for being tolerant for me. Sometimes a Rolling Stone used to bug me. So thanks for kind of being tolerant as I kind of wade through that. So it's no longer under my skin anymore. So thanks for being tolerant. Some of you, I know it annoys you, but most of you understand where I'm at, and I'm just going through my growing pains. So thanks for being very, how would I say, accepting of that. and patient with that. So thank you for that. Anyways, man, I'm going to bounce. This was an excellent song. A great way to cap off Houses of the Holy. In many ways, it's my favorite album, just like I've mentioned. And I'm really looking forward to getting to the Holy Grail, as some of you call it, physical graffiti. So that'll be fun, man. So I'll start that in a couple of days. Until then, you guys have a good time. Take care. Have a good week. And I'll see you in my next Zeppelin reaction. Peace.